Alright everyone, I have made this video previously, but due to a bit of dodgy camera work, I had the camera sitting on the table, and as I was buffing the helmet up I didn't realise the camera was shaking quite badly on the table. So end result was a bit annoying to watch with the shaky picture, and you could actually hear the camera kind of rattling about on the table. So actually redone this video yesterday, and then would you believe it, this time picture quality okay, but for some reason there was a annoying buzzing through the sound all the way through it, so I'm using a different camera this time. So I've done half the video where I did a little test of the product in action in the kitchen. I've got that on YouTube ready, so I'll do this again, I'll join the two together. So the product is called Raincoat. This is an American manufacturer, and basically it's a water repellent specifically designed for motorbike visors. I've tried a few products over the years and basically they were all quite rubbish. The last one I'd tried had come from the Isle of Man, had been kind of marketed as having been developed over there for the racers, so I thought there's a good chance that will be reasonably good. Actually turned out to be rubbish. Did a nice job of cleaning the visor, but as far as repelling water it just simply did nothing. So I'm lucky enough to see a video on this product and it looked good. I bought this probably about 3 years ago and I've been very happy with the way it works. So it costs about £9 this particular box. You get 5 of these little sachets, which basically the stuff inside is like it's like a polish basically. It's the best way to describe it. So you'll get that, get a polishing off cloth, and you get a little applicator as well. When you put the stuff on, you get this wet. I'll just use the last of what's in this pack. I mean, I've been using this stuff for literally years now. I don't do tons and tons of wet weather riding, so you will get through it a bit quicker obviously if you're out on a regular basis, if you like maybe commute to work and stuff. So basically just consider this like you're polishing your bike or your cars up. You can pick this up at a couple of places. There's a website called Visor Vision which do it, and you'll also find it on eBay. And this particular box with 5 sachets, I say it's on both eBay and Visor Vision. It's about £9. You can buy other packs with more amounts in there, like you save a little bit. The other products I seen when I looked on Visor Vision the other day, they've come up with a new kind of version of it where it's a Raincoat Pro, and basically that's in a spray bottle, which they reckon a couple of squirts of that polish it up the same way, but that was more like about £18, but they reckon you get probably about 150 squirts out of it. But this stuff has lasted a long time, so I wouldn't be fussed which one I use, to be honest. So you leave it, doesn't take long to dry. I'll just quickly show you something else, because I'll give it a mention on the other video. Another product that's very handy, which you may already know about, called the V2 sponge. What this is basically a sponge, just the way it's constructed, the way the fibres are. It's really good at cleaning the visor. So you're out shooting about in the summer and you're kind of getting the bugs splattered all over your visor. The way this works is you get this nice and wet. Got a nice little watertight bag here. So get it nice and wet, put it in the bag, got a waterproof seal at the top, and pop it back in there again with a little polishing cloth. The idea is, after you kind of got a visor full of flies and whatever, whenever you stop somewhere you can just whip this out. This is already nice and wet, just give it a blast out and it really does just rip the dried up bugs off in seconds. Manufacturer guarantee it will definitely not scratch your visor no matter how many times you use it. And then you've got your little polishing off cloth. You'll also find this on Visor Vision or eBay. Just had a quick look on eBay. You can get these now, like including postage, £3. I've found this comes in really handy when I'm kind of doing my touring about in the summer, because there's nothing worse than looking out of a visor that's absolutely plastered in dead bugs. Strongly recommend that as well. So all we do with this raincoat now, get your cloth, and say just the same as when you polished your car or your bikes. I do recommend giving it a couple of coats, especially when you first start using this product. Well, it really doesn't take long, so again, when I go off on me doing my touring in the summer, I'll actually take this with me. Then if I'm unlucky enough to have got caught in bad weather, then I can always kind of reapply this on the evening when you're lazing about in your tent. So it's as easy as that basically, and you feel that now it just kind of gives it a nice smooth, and it also does a pretty good job of cleaning it. I've been caught out in heavy rain on the motorway and gone a couple of hours and not had to run my hand across my visor at all. It just beads up the same as polish on your paintwork, and then with the force of the wind hitting the visor, it shoots it off nice and easy. So ideal when you're commuting and that, and you've got the heavy traffic in the mornings and that. It's a nice safety feature because you're not taking your lens off so often. You're not looking through a soaked visor that's blurring your vision. So I think it's a really good product. It does work. You will find it will kind of fade as the day goes on, especially with all the dirt off the road. But when you get a chance, pop into when you stop somewhere for a cuppa or whatever, pop into the toilet, give it a quick wash over, grab a couple of tissues and give it a little bit of a buff up, just as quickly as I've done there, and you'll find some of the performance returns to it. So I've got a few videos on YouTube now, things like the sponge, done the Oxford hot grips fitted not long ago. First time I've had them, they're really good. I've got things like a little review on this Scala Q2, so feel free to have a little look at my other videos. They might not be the greatest videos, I only started doing this a little while back, but I think there's a little bit of information on there that'll be of use to some people. So I won't drone on and make this video too long. I'll get it loaded up tonight and join the two pieces together, and I hope it's of some use to you. Very strongly recommend it. It really does work, and it doesn't cost a fortune, so give it a try. I really don't think you'll be disappointed. Catch you all later. Alright guys, I am back again. My memory card filled up just as I finished speaking to you. That worked out well. As I picked the camera up and noticed on the back it's saying memory card full, I thought, God, how long ago did that bloody fill up? Thought I just spent the last 10 minutes sitting there speaking to myself, but luckily enough it wasn't that bad. So I shall try and give a little bit of a demo of how this works. Obviously it's a little bit hard because obviously the main factor in this product working obviously is when you're riding down the road, you're getting hit with a wind quite hard. So obviously imagine you're doing 40-50 mile an hour plus down the road, the force, say beating up the way it does when you polish your car, but then obviously with the force of the wind hitting your visor is what obviously disperses the water off the visor. But I shall try and trickle a bit of water down here to give you an idea of how easy it's just gonna run off. That's down the visor now. That really is just dripping straight off. It's not sticking to it whatsoever. And that's just with the natural force of the weight of the water. So on top of that, you take into account the wind hitting it. That makes the world of difference. Try and get you a bit up close. And that is just sliding down that really nicely. So take the wind factor into it on top of that, and you can imagine just how well this stuff really does work. Now you look at the visor there, there's virtually none of that water that's stuck to that couple of tiny little specks there, but I say you take into account the wind hitting that now, and that really does just shoot off. I say I reckon if you ride a bike that hasn't got a fairing, then I say it works well with a faired bike, but taking into account how much harder you get hit with a wind without a fairing, I think that's just going to fly off. Obviously the product does, I've had it on in bad weather, and I'd say for half the day it's working well. What you got to remember, it's not so much just the fact that it's rain, it's the rain plus it's all the dirt that's on the roads. So now you get passed by a big kind of 18-wheeler truck on the motorway or something, the amount of spray that comes off that, then it's not just the water on your visor, it's all the crap that's over the road. So obviously as time goes on, you've got dirt building up on the visor, and then that's when you'll notice the performance start to drop a bit. So I tend to find, which it might not be such a problem with the unfaired bikes, is if you just turn the helmet slightly to the side, so you just get hit with a little bit more of an angle, probably because you're moving your head away from the main protection of the shield, and that wind hits you that little bit harder, and then it just flies off. What you tend to can do as the day goes on, if you've stopped somewhere, if you just kind of get a moment to maybe just nip in the toilet or something, just run a bit of water over it to get the worst of the dirt off, and then just grab a bit of tissue and just sit there, and while you're having your cup of tea, and just give it a little quick buff up, then you'll find some of the performance will come back to it. So it is a good product by a country mile. It's the best I've found so far. I'm very happy to have found it. I think if you give it a try, you'll also enjoy it. Especially as if you do a lot of winter riding, you're doing that heavy commuting into work in the morning in heavy rain and the traffic and all that, then that I think is when it really comes into it as a kind of a safety feature, that you're not having to take your hand off and run it across the visor all the time. So I hope this is just an help to you. All these YouTube things quite new to me. I've got a few videos on there now, but I'm just kind of plodding along and having a go. So they're not the greatest videos on YouTube, but hopefully they're good enough to help some people out with a few things. You might want to check out what I've got on there. The bulk of it's to do with motorbikes. I've done recently fitted Oxford heated grips, 12 volt power supply, just a quick one on how to kind of do that for your charging your phones and that. So take a look at it, you might find one or two things on there that's of interest to you. I hope this has been a good one for you. Very highly recommend this stuff. I think one of them, once you've had it, I know as soon as the bad weather kicks in, then I'm straight out and I've got it polished, and so you're riding down the road and that's just trickling off, and you're normally thinking that's it, I'd be wiping my visor every 5 minutes, if not a lot more, and here I am just cruising down the road with it coming off nicely by itself. I had a quick look on Visor Vision. I'll put a link up for the website if I remember to do so. I think Visor Vision, they had them on there for, it was £7.50, and that's, oh no, sorry, mixing my products up now, £9 for 5 sachets of the rain repellent, and the V2 sponge that I showed you, you can get 2 of them for £7.50. If you go on eBay, I'm sure the V2 sponges, I think it's where I got my last one from, you'll get them on there, single packs of the V2 sponge, which do last you a long time. The last one I just threw away, I've used for a couple of years, you'll get them for about £3.50 or something. And same with the raincoat, if you shop around on eBay you'll probably get it. I did a look on that Visor Vision, they've got a Raincoat Pro it's called now. Instead of having the little sachets, it's actually a spray bottle. Which is just a couple of sprays on you and polish it up, but that was about £19 a bottle, which I reckon you have about 150 kind of squirts out of that bottle. So I haven't tried that one, but that's another option there if you're interested. Catch you all later. Bye.